Hello, guys. In this session, we will be discussing some recent developments in Canada that have sparked widespread attention, particularly among the Indian diaspora. So, we were talking about the strained India-Canada relation for the past few days, and even yesterday also we have made a video on that. So now, if you see, some disturbing videos have been surfaced, that gives us an insight into the current social tension in Canada. Specifically, there have been alarming incidents involving Hindu temples being attacked, which underscores the repercussions of how certain policies are impacting the societal peace. So, let me share the screen and I have some slides. So, I'll be explaining with the help of the slide in complete detail. So, let's start. Okay. So, guys, one of the significant incident occurred in Brampton, where a well-known Hindu temple, which is famous for its 55-foot Hanuman statue, was targeted by the radical Khalistani elements. And the footage of this event has gone viral across both India and Canada. And that reveals the growing boldness of extremist groups and the control that they have and the power that they have. And this has raised questions about the effectiveness of the Canadian government stance on handling such terrorist group also. So if you see the response of the Canadian Prime Minister, that again got a lot of criticism. So Prime Minister Justin Trudeau issued a statement. He condemned the violence, but his response has drawn significant criticism because it was very vague, as it did not specifically identify the perpetrators as Khalistani extremists. And in his statement, he expressed that violence against any place of worship is unacceptable, and every Canadian has the right to practice their faith freely and safely, but without mentioning any specific name or bringing or talking about the perpetrators. Now, coming to India's reaction, India have expressed deep disappointment and dissent over these incidents, and has raised concerns about how such kind of disruptions are being allowed to happen. And the Indian government had previously requested enhanced security measures for events at Hindu temples in Canada, but those measures were reportedly insufficient, and this lapse in security has become a significant point of contention, especially at this point of time. Now, coming to the public criticism against the Prime Minister, see, Trudeau's reluctance to directly name the attackers actually have fueled a lot of criticism, and many Canadians, including those within the Indian community, have responded to his statement, urging him to acknowledge the role of Khalistani extremists openly. So, this hesitation has led to increased scrutiny of Trudeau's policies and his approach to safeguarding the Indian community in Canada. Now, coming to the other Canadian politicians, if you see among the Canadian politicians, Kevin Vuong, who's an MP who stood out by openly identifying the perpetrators as Khalistani extremists. And Vuong's statement highlighted the growing issue of Canada becoming a safe havens for radicals and extremists and terrorists, and called for better protection for Hindu Canadians. And his straightforward acknowledgement marked a rare moment of Canadians, candidness in the Canadian political discourse also. Now, coming to the India-Canada relation aspect, which we discussed many times, see, these incidents have further strained relations between India and Canada. The Prime Minister of State of Railways, sorry, not the Prime Minister, the Indian ministers have also, responded and criticized the Prime Minister of Canada's, action. Okay, so here, when it comes to the Indian minister, a minister of, state for railways made a bold statement comparing Canada to Pakistan in terms of how it has become a source of concern for India. Such strong declaration from a sitting Indian minister indicate that India is taking these developments seriously and may respond accordingly, and that will further strain the India-Canada relation. Now, coming to the implications for Canadian society. So it's very important to note that those committing these acts of violence are a minority within Canada's larger Sikh community, which is otherwise peaceful. I'm not talking about the entire Sikh community. We are talking about that minority. Okay, but what will happen? The actions of this small group actually risking or tarnishing the reputation of the broader, bigger community, the peaceful Sikh community and can lead to unintended consequences that can impact all the Canadians. Okay, so that is the unintended consequences of this. So the need for stronger action. Now, the Canadian government's response to these acts, will be very important, pivotal, and the lack of decisive action has raised concerns that the Canada might suffer long-term consequences similar to those faced by countries that have, harbored extremist groups in the past, like Pakistan, right? You can see a historical comparison can be drawn to Hillary Clinton's remark that something like harboring snakes in your backyard will eventually lead to getting bitten by yourself. So you are growing the snakes in your backyard, so eventually you will be getting bitten by the same snake that you are growing. So that's a lesson that Pakistan learned after years of allowing extremist element to flourish over there. Now coming to the conclusion, let me conclude. So, in conclusion, we can say Canada is at crossroads. While the country's multicultural framework and tolerance are commendable without any question or doubt, addressing radical elements is essential for preventing further division and violence. So, the global community and the Canadian citizens alike will be watching how the situation unfolds and how Canada balances the right to freedom with maintaining law and order. So that's again very important. So I just wanted to update this incident since the videos and everything has already gone viral. So guys, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.